All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Wrestling Apologist Extra, the very second episode of Wrestling Apologist Extra, the secondary show of the Wrestling Apologist podcast for your Tuesday, July 28th, 2020. Hope you guys are all doing well. I'm the ABA, of course, and joining me this week on this episode is Richard
Hello, everyone.
and King Kenny.
Yeah, in the flesh, man.
Yes, he
Happy
is.
to be here. Just a quick shout out to my boy Ricardo for holding it down last week, man. That was I watched the show last night. That was pretty good show. So I'm gonna hold it down 2 weeks in a row. So let's go.
Yeah. All right. But before we get started here today, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on this brand new series whenever we drop it anytime throughout the week. And if you haven't done so already, you can check out episode 28 that we launched this past week, or really any of our older episodes in the archives using any of the platforms we are available on, as well as visiting our own website, anchor.fm/wrestling-hypothesis.
All right. So last night, if any of you did not see Raw, Monday Night Raw, last night we crowned a new Raw Women's Champion in Sasha Banks. She defeated Asuka via countout because the stipulation was if either Asuka or Sasha gets DQ'd, counted out, or whatever, then the opposite opponent will win the Raw Women's Championship. Last night, Bayley attacked Kairi Sane. Asuka left the match to go tend to her, and because of that, since she was counted out, Banks is now a 5-time women's champion. Along with that, it's now been confirmed that Bayley and Sasha now holds all the gold for women's championships in the main roster.
Yeah, I mean, it was a surprise to me, to say the least, last night. Not that I didn't, not that I necessarily didn't see it coming at all, but it was still I was still pretty caught off guard by it, the result last night. And honestly, the match I saw the match, it was pretty good for what it was, and I just wasn't a fan of the finish. Honestly, it was kind of a cop out, but I kind of get where they wanted to go with that because they didn't want to give Asuka a clean loss, and they wanted to find through nefarious means give Sasha the win.
Right.
That's why they had to give that stipulation of if anyone gets disqualified or counted out or interferes, then the match is over and we have either a new champion or the champion still retains. But it is what it is. I'm kind of a fan of the idea because low-key, I kind of am starting to get the whole Bayley Sasha Banks storyline with them winning all the titles and capturing all of them, because I feel like you can milk this out for what it's worth for the next few months. So I'm actually okay with the idea.
Okay.
I'm only okay with it because it's Sasha. That's it. She's at least top 3 in the world easily. You know what I mean? So, no matter in no particular order, no matter how much you want to rank it, Charlotte, Ronda, Sasha, put in Asuka, it doesn't matter. She's top 3, man, and in which you've given her, and this time you've given her the highest honor in the land, which happens to be the Raw Women's Championship. So, I agree with you. I'm okay with it because it's Sasha, and she'll carry prestige. She's been there before, and hopefully this time we'll actually get to see a legit championship reign and not some fluky ass shit that she keeps it for like a month or less than that, and then loses it. So we'll see. But this time it looks like it's legit. This time it looks like she's actually going to get a chance. So I'm happy for where she is, man.
All right. So we'll have to wait and see for the next couple of weeks into SummerSlam as well as into the fall months about how they're going to carry with all the gold in WWE. Now, this past Friday on SmackDown, it's pretty much been shown that Big E is finally getting a singles push since Xavier Woods is out with an injury, and it's been confirmed that Kofi Kingston himself has a minor injury that's going to take up to 6 weeks. So it's now up to Big E to carry the load that the New Day has and can now push himself to potentially big potential to be a top star in what he has.
I mean, Big E is one of those what feels like many in the WWE system that has been around for a while now. Has been for the most part doing his thing with the New Day, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, seeing how popular and over they are currently and have been for a good number of years. But we all figured that out of anyone in the group to have the most success as a single star, once they're able to branch out on their own, it would be Big E. Kofi's great, don't get me wrong, but he has been a classic example this whole time of someone who never really got above a certain level in the company. And so he was long damaged goods by the time he was given the WWE title last year. Big E isn't quite on that level necessarily, since he never really had a fair shake of the main event scene and the top titles in the company. But I just feel that, in my honest opinion, that the ship to push him on his own sailed long ago. I'm talking at least 2 to 3 years late for this. And I'm not necessarily discouraging them from pushing newer stars. I will never hate that idea. I'm just looking at how I will perceive Big E were he to challenge for the world titles and even win them. I mean, I've had a perception of him for a while as the goofy, outgoing character in New Day. And it did help him initially when the group formed for him to show off his personality and to help build his charisma. But that has gone on for far too long. Like, if you wanted to have Big E not been stuck a certain way to the crowd, they would have pulled the trigger on this at least a few years ago.
No, I agree, and you're definitely right. He's far from where he should be as a singles competitor. I mean, think about what you're doing. Like you've marginalized a group of potentially huge stars, because let's not forget Big E was NXT champion before he left NXT. You know,
That's right.
He was the second man, right? Second one to win it.
That's right. Second ever.
Yeah. So, if you hold that title, it comes with a lot of expectations. And the expectations was that he would be a big star once he came up to the main roster. At that time, the precedence was not set for, anyone that came through the NXT ranks to just easily flop. I don't think that was a precedence then. So we kind of see that starting from Big E. And once it started from Big E, it went down from there. Shinsuke had it. Samoa Joe had it. You name it. Anyone that became NXT champion pretty much went on to the main roster. Like Big E started that decline of, oh shit, they weren't anything. And Neville too. You got to remember Neville when he was like everyone had that decline. So
I didn't look at it like that.
I'm not interested in seeing.
Wait, so you're not interested in?
That's why I'm here. So right, I'm not interested in seeing Big E, in any capacity as a single superstar. I just don't care about him as a singles competitor. I don't care if he doesn't have his two brothers next to him. I don't give a damn about Big E.
Would you say, in terms of him being a single star, like in order for us, like as the fans, to take him seriously, I would suggest like he would need to change his whole persona, his whole look, and as well as personality to make us feel that he could be a serious individual.
But here's my thing: for 6 weeks, and then go back to being the New Day, because we all anticipate Kofi will be back, right? In about 6 weeks.
Pretty much, yeah.
So if he's back in 6 weeks, why the hell would I go through a change right now?
That's true.
For 6 weeks. What am I gonna like? Unless he's winning the WWE champion, right? You don't go make a change like that. Unless he's winning some type of singles championship, you don't. And then when he makes that change, right? It doesn't make sense for him to go back to the New Day anymore. It won't, because it'll be different from what he's already done. Right? So the New Day will be dead, right? Unless you're trying to break up the New Day, which they're not, because the New Day makes a lot of money for them. Merchandising wise, like they're one of the top.
Yeah.
So if you're telling me that you're breaking away from that, I don't believe you 1 second. And that's exactly why I'm not interested in that Big E singles run, because it's bullshit. That's why.
Like I said, a couple of years too late.
All right, now this kind of ties into what's the next thing I'm about to say. So apparently,
Whoa.
oh,
Before we
okay.
get onto that, Richard,
Mhm.
what are your thoughts on the whole Big E getting a singles push?
So from my part, in terms of Big E's finally getting a singles push, I do have to agree with Abba on this one. Like, it is too late. Like, it is too late because they had plenty of time to push Big E as a single star, like many times, because they've been together for 6 years. Yeah, 6 years, and like you could have had more than enough time to hell like turn him heel, make him break away from the group, put up like a really good ass promo, and make him become like the legit star that you actually want him to be. Because every single person in the New Day in the group should obviously have a good, successful run, like singularly, whatever. Like, because he did it with Kofi. For Big E, it's a different story because like he's the muscle of the group. Nobody knows what he can do verbally on the mic. You know what he could do in the ring. In ring talent, like he got it, but verbally, you gotta speak to us on what you can bring to the table if you're gonna face off against a top star like for example, like AJ Styles. Like I won't be surprised with the singles run if they make him go after AJ Styles and the Intercontinental Championship and stuff like that. Just an example. So I'm not discouraging on the singles push. I'm just wanting to see like what are you really gonna do with him? Because there's one thing you want to push him, but it's another thing what are you gonna do with him?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, if nothing else, if they really want to throw Biggie into a singles as a singles competitor, like have him test the waters on that project, then just I would say just go for maybe United States or IC title contendership, nothing more, honestly.
Right.
But the world
So
title, that's too far fetched at this point for me, at
no,
least.
no, for that one, for Big E specifically, he has a long way to go because he never had that run. He's never had that run as well as that chance, so that's a long way to go.
Yeah.
But speaking of new stars, this kind of ties into the next thing I'm about to say. So Vince himself reportedly wants to create new stars in the company, since most of his top stars like Lesnar, Reigns, and so on and so forth, are out of the picture due to the pandemic. Now, a lot of the fans has been, including myself, has been saying like, you now want to create top stars when just not too long ago you fired an individual that wanted to create top stars. Like a lot of fans are saying that, and everyone also saying to Vince, I'm like, you're saying that you want to create top stars, but you have Ric Flair, Christian, and Big Show. People, old names coming in when, as of right now, we don't give a fuck about, when you have a plethora of fresh new names ready to be used to create top stars. For example, Aleister Black. Aleister Black could have been a top star a long time ago. He has the potential, he has the in-ring work to do that, but you don't want to push him. You want to bring back old stars into doing that.
Yeah, I just have a quick question. Where the hell has this Vince McMahon been?
Exactly.
So eager and willing all of a sudden to want to put some real backing into his own talents. I guess this really shouldn't come as a huge surprise, seeing as how he finally realized he is backed into a corner with the COVID-19 pandemic, leading to no audience for their shows, little to no access of some of his biggest superstars under contract, like what Richard said, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and so on. Although Charlotte is to a shorter extent than the other three names, but you get what I'm saying. And not to
Yeah.
mention AEW dominating in the ratings against NXT. They're starting to reestablish that again. While Raw and SmackDown are receiving lower ratings, it feels like by the weeks. That all builds up to pure frustration from the higher-ups at WWE. Hence, where this mindset is suddenly coming from.
And
Now,
not
my
only,
thing is,
mm-hmm,
what?
mm-hmm.
Go ahead. No,
No,
go
no.
ahead.
So I was gonna add to that because you said ratings, and what Vince does, like, still mind-boggling to me. I'm like, Vince, you do know that sports is coming back, right? I'm like, sports is coming back. Like, Raw is averaging 1.6.
Without any interruption, so to speak,
Yeah,
from other
1.6.
networks.
And with sports coming back, it could potentially go to a 1.3, 1.4. So,
Yeah, and my thing is that why isn't this the mindset he has every time he comes into WWE headquarters? I don't get it. He truly doesn't care. And if he did, you can tell just by watching the weekly product that the effort is there if the effort was there to build new stars in the first place. So until I see some of that effort onto WWE television, I'm not even going to think much of this news at all.
Exactly. This has little to do about nothing.
Yeah.
When Roman comes back, when Brock comes back, when Charlotte comes back, when Ronda comes back, this whole thing will
out the window.
pass. Okay? This is
Oh, yeah.
just a public statement
It's like a
to
ruse.
try and bait people and possibly give them something to talk about. If we see it, great. If we don't, we expected it. Period.
Like most of us will be surprised, if nothing else, if they actually do start to put some effort into guys like Black and Murphy and all these kind of people.
No, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised because
Same.
I mean, think about it. Where do you have to go? You have nowhere to go. Absolutely nowhere. So
No,
now,
I really
sudden,
no, I don't.
Hold up. Now all of a sudden, if you push Black or this guy, I expect you. You expect me to give you a round of applause or a fucking cookie for doing whatever it is that you should have done a long time ago? Hell no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If it wasn't for the pandemic, you would have kept that same energy and employed all these old ass dudes that can't even tie their own fucking shoes because that's what you do.
Yep.
So to me, this is nothing, man. It has little to do about nothing, and they'll go back to their regular old, old man ass attitude because that's what they do, man. This ain't nothing new, man. This is nothing new.
Well said.
So last week, AEW announced that this coming summer or later this summer, they are going to have a women's tag team tournament. 16 teams, 8 women, 16 teams, 8 women for the women's Deadly Draw Trophy coming later on this summer. So, in terms
I think you mean 6, 8. Wait, what was it? 8 teams, 16 women.
Yeah. Sorry, I reversed it. But yeah. So to win the Deadly Draw Women's Tag Team Championship trophy, and for this reminds me of honestly the Mayon Classic, because when Triple H did the Mayon Classic a couple of years back, he did the Classic to bring in more talent into the WWE, which he succeeded in, as well as bring in much more emphasis into women's wrestling, and it was a huge success. Now, for AEW, on the other hand, they're still relatively new, and Now, for this women's tag team tournament, are you bringing in more talent? Yes, but the negative in this is that you have in your main roster for your women's division, you have about 9 to 10 females. That's still the majority of them, us the fans, don't really know who they actually are. They just put them in a match and then that's it. If I can name like only 3 females I could name from AEW, Britt Baker, Sheeta, and Nyla Rose. Pretty much like the main 3. Other than that, like, we don't really know everybody else. Guys.
Well, I'm just gathering my thoughts. For them to book a women's tag team tournament, I think they have more to gain from this than otherwise. I really think it is a good idea for them to have this women's tag team tournament because honestly, what do they have to lose from doing it? If you really look at it in the bigger picture, this tournament is their first real effort into making the focal point of their product all about the women. The women in AEW up to this point have been a relative afterthought and their weakest division by far so far in their longevity with with having a promotion. since last year. This would rectify a good amount of that issue because they're signing new names plus building up the credibility of each performer there by showcasing them. And more than likely, it's not just going to be all talents that are new and from around the world that they're signing. It's going to be some familiar faces, I'm sure, that they're going to stick in there and have them showcase their abilities. And we will care in the long run with them when the tournament is said and done. And I understand that they don't have access to all the women signed to them at the moment, whether it's due to injuries like a Britt Baker or being unable to travel from other countries because of the ongoing pandemic. So you got to work around that. They have enough plus more coming in to make this tournament a possible thing. And really, there is a possibility that your next big faces of the women's division for AEW could be in that very same tournament. They're not better off at the moment, if you ask me. They got, like Richards mentioned earlier, they got Hikaru Shida, Nyla Rose, and Britt Baker, who's hurt and really can't compete at the moment. I mean, Chris Statlander and Penelope Ford, maybe. They're very on and off with the main events picture of the women's division there. And that's pretty much it. Doing this tournament will guarantee to give them and us more options for this division. So they can go many different ways with it. And that alone is a huge positive why they should go ahead with the tournament.
You know, I expected just a little bit more from you, man. Just a little bit more. But
from Abba or me?
Wow. Yes, from Abba. But
okay.
Wow. Listen, my problem with them it's not having a tournament at all. I don't give a damn if they have a tournament. My problem with them is them having a tag team tournament. That's that's a huge issue with me. Because where like what teams are you having? And if so, and if you're bringing in new people to team up with your current roster, who can you bring in that we possibly give a shit about? See, you haven't even, it's like, if it was a singles tournament, like this is, Rich, with all due respect, this ain't nothing like the Mayon Classic. It's not going to be even close. Okay?
No, obviously.
It's not comparable. Listen, it's not comparable. You can't compare the Mayon Classic to this. Okay? You cannot. Because it's like apples to oranges because it won't create new stars. I can tell you that much. That's number one.
Really?
Right? Because there's no individuality there. There's no individuality there. Like if a team wins, what do you get? A fucking cookie? Huh? Like what do you get? A chance at the women's tag team title? Oh wait, you don't have one. So what is this? You enlighten me about what they win, and you enlighten me on how it'll help their careers. Go ahead. Give it your best shot.
Okay. Hell yeah, it can create new stars because you're showcasing them. You're bringing them for relative obscurity, so to speak. Nobody's watching the other lesser promotions that nobody's ever heard of their names and what they bring to the table in wrestling. And now there's your opportunity for them to take the ball and run with it.
Okay. So you're bringing them from obscurity, right? Okay. Riddle me this then. They're in obscurity, right? Currently, because nobody really knows who they are, right? So you bring two people that nobody really gives a shit about, and you put them together. That's two times the people, the type of people like people don't give a shit about. Who's gonna give a shit about that? It's like it's coming together to form an even worse group. Like
back and forth with freezing
there
issues
is and that's what I mean by that. Like if Tessa Blanchard with somebody, if you're pairing an established woman, an actual star, right, with somebody that we don't know and calling it a tag team, okay, that's fine, okay? But this is not the way, man. Have a tournament, right, that actually fucking means something. Like a real prize at the end. Like, oh shit, I don't know, a women's title match for the winner. Like, these are the kind of things that you should be seeing. A build from inside out, right? Not like you shouldn't be concerned about making new stars from the outside because you have no star right now. You have no star right now in your division. And that's my biggest problem is that you're making a tag team tournament with no stars at all.
So what you're saying is it's not going to go over well in the end.
What I'm saying is pretty much this, man. If I don't want to like if this was the Mayon Classic, right? We'd have a tournament style match with individual competitors, right? Where you have women from all over the world coming in to prove their worth, trying to earn a contract at the end. The winner earns a contract, an AEW contract. That makes sense. This,
okay.
What does the winner get?
A trophy.
Well, I can't really give you the specifics of what the prize will entail, but who's to say they won't get contracts anyway, the winning tag team?
Maybe they do. But guess what? Who would care at that moment? Like think about it.
Why wouldn't they care? If they showcase their abilities and everyone's watching and they're fucking, doing their thing.
So riddle me this. Even if you pair an existing woman, right, in AEW, right? Even if you pair an existing woman like Penelope Ford, let's say you pair her with somebody that we've never heard of, right? It's like, and her team wins, and her partner earns an AEW contract. She's still in obscurity. Like they're like like you're coming in, right, as a relatively nobody, right, into a division. It's not established yet, right? And it's a flux right now. So to me, you don't have a tournament like this that's to prove as a prize. You have the most spoiled champion of this of winner. Most spoils of war. Only a trophy.
Some
Are you
technical
fucking
issues
kidding me?
here.
What you get in troubles? No.
Kenny, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, good. Because you were going on and off.
Yeah. I don't know how much you guys heard after that, but I said there's no spoils of war for the winner, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, there's no featured championship match. You know what I mean? So a better way to go about this will be establishing individuality and actually establishing, like a woman like Penelope Ford, right? I know she just had a recent championship match, but if you showcase her even more in a tournament like this with individual stars, right? Not individual stars, but individuals that actually, give her a run for her money. I think she's one of the people that
Damn, Kenny doesn't have the best connection, I see.
Yeah.
Hopefully he comes back. We can hear him again. But Kenny, is still there? Oh no, he left.
He probably left and then try to connect it back.
Yeah, we'll give him a sec. And listen, well, for those listening, I still think it's a good idea. Like, don't get me wrong. Would I prefer a singles tournament over a tag team tournament, which is a little out of left field and bizarre, especially for the women at the moment in AEW? Yeah, absolutely. I would prefer a singles division because Kenny does bring up good points that He's going to come back in. That's, yeah, individuality is critical to really to best utilize and establish the current and the newer stars coming in. So, but at the same time, like, a tag team tournament isn't the worst idea in the world because yes, I get there's no tag team titles, and honestly, I'm not begging for them in AEW, nor do I care that they ever have one. But
oh, they'll have
you're
one.
making-
They'll definitely have one, but not now.
Yeah.
They'll definitely
Listen,
have
best case scenario, you're signing 2 new females. If there were 2 newer stars in the tournament that that not a lot of people know about, not signed to them at the moment, they win the tournament. They both get contracts, and there you go. You got two established stars right there.
Yep.
You can't establish a star in a tournament that nobody knows about, man. You can't. Even Kyrie
what do you
saying,
mean when
you
you
want to
say
argue
that
that she
nobody
was a
knows
star,
about?
like because 2 new stars are not stars. They're competitors. You haven't earned that mantra yet as a star. You need to establish yourself outside of that tournament. And that's exactly what somebody like Shayna Baszler did. That's exactly what Kairi Sane did. And to be honest with you, I don't see that happening in AEW just yet because the women's division is lacking. Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler established their dominance, right, by beating people that are actually stars. Established females. When you win an AEW contract, what division are you going into?
Hey, I'm just saying it's
a division that has little to no stars at all. That's what you're going into. And that's my main problem with this, is that you don't have a division that has established itself, right? So far so that when the winner does emerge from this tournament, you're going back, right? You're going back into obscurity, just as you mentioned earlier. You're going back to a division that is not established yet. And it's trying to establish yourself, if you're not even a star yet, in a division that hasn't even established a big three or a core group yet, that's difficult. You will never be a star. It's just
I think you just have a big 3 or big 4 at the moment.
It's just no, you don't. They don't have any any continuity so far. They don't have anything. They don't have anything outside of Hikaru Shida. I don't see any continuity. So they're trying. They're on the right path. But I'm saying hold this off until you actually have people, right? That new competitors can come in and usurp them. Right now, if a new competitor beats Penelope Ford, I'm not saying, oh shit, yeah, that's a new star. No, because Penelope Ford herself is trying to establish herself as a star. So, no one is on that level yet of where they have world recognition. No one, not Britt Baker, not Hikaru Shida, not Nyla Rose. They have not established, themselves as real legit female division stars yet. And you're asking new people to come in and be stars in a division that hasn't even established themselves as a legit division, like a really, really, really good core group that that people can go and measure themselves against. No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely
well, then
not.
how do you say the same thing? How can you? What do you have to say for the Mayon Classic whenever WWE would put it on?
Right, because
more often than not, there's not a whole lot of established stars in there.
Right, exactly. But this is the caveat, right? This is the caveat. The Mayon Classic, right? The spoils of war is significant. Okay, and that's what I love. All right, see, there you go. There is spoils of war to be had. Okay, when Kyrie won, right? She had great spoils of war. Not
here we go.
the trophy. She got a title match.
Right, but that title match but that title match didn't really necessarily, establish her at that point. It took a while longer afterwards.
Right? So she took after she won the Mayon Classic, after she became champion, right? She then established herself. And people,
you know what wouldn't surprise me?
Okay, all right. This is somebody that we can. She has heads on her mantle, right? And that well, Kyrie couldn't do that if they achieved that. And that's what I'm saying. If you have a winner in this tournament, right, there are no stars for you to go back to. Who are you beating? If you beat Britt Baker and Nyla Rose, great. But then after that, you need to establish yourself. You need to fight against even more people. And I'm saying the division lacks the depth to do so.
I'm not necessarily denying that. But I'm looking at it like this. Who's to stop them from, I don't know, having both the winners of this women's tag team tournaments get their individual title matches against whoever the women's champion is. That would not surprise me.
Because it's bullshit. That's why. It's bullshit. It's bullshit.
I don't know what to tell you.
You can't do that. You can't have two nobodies just come in and then start fighting for the women's title.
I mean,
yeah.
They're in a division tournaments and run through it.
Yeah, but that's a tag team. It's a tag team tournament, man. It's a tag team
tournament. I'm not saying,
and that's why it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that it's a tag team tournament because there's no tag teams, gold, at least for the women. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. You're telling me that if I'm Hikaru Shida, I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, oh shit, these two women are gonna try to take away my title. Why? Who have you went through? What have you done? You beat two teams. You beat a couple of teams, and now you're vying for a women's title.
Listen, I'm just saying, over the years we've been watching wrestling, we would watch tournaments. We would open our eyes to more than a few stars in that same tournament with their performances.
Bro, so that's like the winner of the Dusty Rhodes Classic,
Tag Team
right?
Classic.
Tag Team Classic, trying to fight, vie for the NXT title. What sense does that? That makes absolutely no sense.
Because for the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, the winner is not only gets the trophy, they become number one contenders of the tag team titles. That's
right. The spoils of war. I ain't kidding when I said that. Come on, man. A tag team tournament should not, automatically winning that shouldn't automatically, get you to fight it for a women's title. And that's what I'm saying, man. The spoils of war is significant. You can't tell me that the two winners, those young ladies, can fight for a title like that. No, absolutely not. A trophy is.
They got no tag team titles, so as far as I'm concerned, they can do that. It's just as easy.
Oh wow! And they have no tag team title because why? They haven't put in the work yet. They haven't been established yet. They're still going through the motions. They're still trying, and I commend them for that. But this is the wrong time to have that. It is. Give me a 16-woman tournament match. How about that? That I'm looking forward to. That will get people talking. No tag team matches with women is interesting enough.
All right, fair enough.
The prize is not significant, man. It's not. It's not gonna mean anything at the end of the day.
Okay, Richard, you got any thoughts on this yourself?
No, Kenny pretty much said everything. He pretty much said everything. Like what is there left to say? The only thing the only positive from this tournament that they're gonna have is bringing in talent. But other than that, that's pretty much it. That's the only aspect I got from this tournament idea. They're bringing in more talent, but other than that, that's it.
Bringing in more talent is great, man.
That's literally it.
What they're trying to do. But hey, listen, man. If you're telling me there's 3 females you got to get through to get to the top, I'm not really, because there are levels to this. I ain't kidding when I said that. There are levels to this.
Hey, from where I'm looking at it, they're getting more talent. They're getting fresher faces. That's a great thing. That's why I see this as a positive.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, God knows they need depth in that women's division. It's severely lacking.
Very, very much so.
And this tournament, I feel, is a way to rectify that. They can change that up, and it's going to be for the better. Now, will I prefer it was a singles tournament? Absolutely. I was even a little surprised. Why was this a tag team tournament in the first place? I think they would have benefited far more with the singles tournament. But at the same time, that tells me they're getting double the amount of talent, double the amount of new talent coming.
Well, not. Whoa.
Possibly.
Because
if they're not
that only means they're going to feature their existing stars, or their existing women roster.
And that's not a terrible thing in itself.
It's not. You got to establish them further. But my thing is, am I interested in seeing Nyla Rose in a tag team match? Like, bro, no. Like, am I supposed to believe that Nyla Rose cares about winning this, right? For the benefit of her team? Come on, man.
Yeah, but if no one else has anything to add on that, we'll leave it at that for today. Thanks for checking out our second edition of Wrestling Apologist Extra. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram for any news updates we post on there, as well as any updates on our weekly show and the status of it. We will be back for episode 29 this upcoming Sunday. So until then, have a good one, guys. Take care.
Take care.